Venerable Sila Vimala, Venerable Abeyawardene and Venerable Kasapa, members of the Vihara Management Committee, distinguished guests, Dr. Bidalf and Mrs. Bidalf, to Mark Hall, is that right? And to our departed Minister Lord Bourne, and I think his friend Mark Anderson, and indeed all of you coordinators and well-wishers and devotees of London Buddhist Vihara. Thank you, first of all, for coming today. I think this meeting has been something like 90 years in the making. So I'd like to just reflect, before I give a formal vote of thanks, on why we are here today. This is, I think, a week-long celebration of our founder, which sort of culminates on the 17th of September, on his actual birthday, to celebrate the fact that it is now 90 years since the London Buddhist Vihara was founded. And that's a great moment in time to reflect upon the period of time we have now been in existence, and the very many successes that we have all enjoyed, and also some of the ups and downs that have happened during those periods, and the challenges that we've faced and we've overcome. I think we all, as coordinators, and I know we have all put a lot of effort and time and dedication into not only this event today and the coming events that are happening the rest of this week, but we continue to do so for all the celebrations and activities that the Vihara has throughout the year. So I think it's a good time to thank you all for those efforts that you volunteer out of your own time and effort and contribute to our community. And I think Venerable Sila Vimala would certainly like to thank you on behalf of all the monks and the management committee for those efforts. In terms of my personal reflection on this period, I've just returned from a long holiday in the USA, actually. And one of the things that happened to me during that holiday was that I visited Chicago. And I actually went to the building where Anagarika Dharmapala gave his famous address in 1893 to the World Parliament of Religions. And when you reflect on that he was probably only about 27 years old. At the time, he had never really traveled outside Asia. You know, he must have undergone quite a lot of hardships even to get across to the States. He had come across UK initially before that, and he had met with people like Annie Besant of the Theosophists, and Edwin Arnold, famously, who wrote The Light of Asia. And I think it was at that time of his life and the state of the world at that time when Buddhism was so much under threat in Sri Lanka, and it was really a great period of darkness as far as the religion of Buddhism was in Ceylon under colonial rule, that he was inspired to still not only be active in the resurgence of Buddhism in his own country, but was willing to extend and be energized and be inspired to want to promote Buddhism everywhere else in the world. And we are the children of that dream, if you like. And I suppose we have to somehow live up to that expectation. So I've read a lot in preparing the exhibition this year about the Anagarika, and I still learn more and more about him. He led a very complex and active life. But one of the things that I thought I'd just quickly read to you was something that I found in a journal that was published by London Buddhist Vihara in the very early days of its founding. It was probably written in 1931. It was in a journal called The British Buddhist, and it was written by someone, I think, who was very much like yourselves, who was a layperson and wanting to assist and help the Vihara at that time. And he talks about the Dhamma in London. His name is A.G. Grant, so I presume he's an English person. And I just want to read a little bit out of this, and I think you might be intrigued by what he says. From outside, in the rather chilly December twilight, the Buddhist mission house presents an inviting appearance. Through the transparent curtains, you can see the shrine with all its candles and flowers. One gets an impression that the room is bathed in golden light. The calm, inscrutable peace of the Dhamma seems to brood within. Those of us who have come to love the place look forward each Sunday to the beautiful Buddhist service. Many come in considerable distance with commendable regularity, and it is good to see all kinds of people chatting together before and after the lectures. Here one sees the calm face of China, the vivacious face of France, the smile of happy Japan. Germany is here too. India, Ceylon, and Siam are with us. In short, we are a miniature League of Nations. All of this friendship, all this breaking down of race barriers, all this touch of mutual consideration and blending of interest is due to one thing, and one thing alone: that wonderful solvent of all hearts, the Buddha Dhamma. There is no doubt that it has come to the West to stay. Here at the Buddhist mission, the Anagarika Dharmapala has planted a seed that is vibrant with life and potentiality. When he sent the 3 members of the order and Mr. Wallisingha to England, he made his history. Their advent will be seen in its full significance in the years to come. Like all the pioneers, the 4 members of the mission found many obstacles to overcome. The work was hard and progress was slow, but today, thanks to the spade work of that little mission, the Dhamma is here in London, and those who hear it come again and again and again, and their numbers increase. The day is not so far distant when a permanent Sangha will be absolutely necessary in England. The day is not far distant when a stately Vihara will rear itself among the buildings of London. When that day comes, those of us who have watched from the beginning will find our thoughts going back. In our memories, we shall recall the names of the 3 splendid bhikkhus who came to us: the Venerable Vajrayana, the Venerable Nandasara, and the Venerable Parnasara. And he who bore the heavy burden and responsibility on business side, Mr. Devapriya Wallisingha. You on the east, we are deeply grateful to you. We fully appreciate the help you have given. Please stand behind us for a little while longer, and you may rest assured that soon, over here in the West, a fitting temple will arise which will permeate and perpetuate the wonderful efforts of the Buddhist mission from Ceylon. And the name of that splendid worker for the Dhamma, the Reverend Anagarika Dharmapala. Thank you very much.